Hello. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about a question someone has asked me. The question is that is it is it still a good option to come to Europe for work in 2025? Well, that's a question that I have answered a couple of times on this channel. But given the political situation the world is going through, let me share my views on moving to Europe for education or career, and whether it's still a good time to come to Europe for your education or for job opportunities. Right now, I may be wrong, by the way, so don't trust everything that I just say. I may be ignorant about a number of things, so my views are simply my views. You do your own research in order to validate those views. So that's very, very important. I strongly believe that Europe, especially Western Europe, continues to be one of the best places to live, to work, and to have a good life for a variety of reasons. I think Western Europe has one of the best infrastructure. You have high quality education, healthcare is quite good, living standard in general is quite good in Western Europe. Very egalitarian society, where you, even as a low ranking professional, you get paid really, really well. And yeah, it's quite egalitarian in that sense. Everybody has some opportunity, and people who are unemployed, you have social safety net helping you with that. So everything is so good actually in Western Europe. There are obviously problems, no doubt. There are many problems that are very political in nature. I don't want to comment on political problems. There are political problems everywhere in the world, right? You will not find a single country in the world that is free of any political issue, right? No country in the world is free of political issues, right? And when you are thinking about your career, your education, you should think about a couple of things. One is the country that you want to move to is going to accept you? Will there be job opportunity? Will you be able to earn well? Will you be able to buy a house? Will you be able to get a visa properly? I mean, that's also quite important. These are practical stops, right? These are things that you worry about. You don't care which political party is ruling that country, right? Well, in Western Europe, actually, it's relatively easy to get a visa for yourself, but also your partner, right? It's easier to bring your family over to Europe. So compared to, let's say, US or even UK, that's I would say plus point. Quality of education, if you're coming for higher education, is quite actually good actually. And most of the universities in Western Europe provide English master's programs, so that's quite good. Although that is changing a bit more recently, some countries have stopped um, English programs which are taught in the English language. But for the popular ones, like if you want to do MBA, or you want to do a master's in finance, data science, analytics, or engineering, tech, most of the master's programs are still in English. Maybe in the liberal arts area, some of the areas like history and philosophy and so on, in those areas you see master's programs are now being more in local language and less in English, right? In terms of opportunities, I think because of the um, the demographic equation here in Europe, there will always be demand for skilled professionals. Simply because I think a lot of people are retiring, and and there's still big economies out here, whether it's Germany or Netherlands or France or Italy. These are all reasonably sized economies. But in these countries, actually, you see a lot of people are actually in the verge of retiring in few years' time. So there'll always be some opportunities out there for job seekers. Okay. Obviously, as someone who is fresh, you will find it very challenging, but it's better than many other countries, I would say, especially better than UK or even US, because in the US, getting a visa is always a challenge. Many people have to sort of go back to their home country after getting educated there, simply because if no one is ready to sponsor a visa. But that's less of a concern in Western Europe. So, in my view, I think Western Europe continues to be one of the most attractive places to live and work and do well in life. Uh, so that's the answer. In terms of opportunities, I would say, if you are a hardworking professional, if you are willing to put in efforts, uh, you will always grow everywhere in the world, but certainly in Western Europe, because this is one part of the world that is quite meritocratic in my view. Unlike in many places, especially in Middle Eastern countries where it's less meritocratic, I would say Western Europe is quite meritocratic in that way. If I see people from Turkey, Iran, India, China, Indonesia, some countries from Africa doing really well in Western Europe. It probably wasn't the case 20, 30 years back, but now more recently you see senior management people coming from non-European countries. So that is very big plus point and a very positive change in my view. Uh, Education is also relatively inexpensive, less expensive compared to UK and US. So that way it's also quite okay. In terms of crime and living standard, I'm probably hearing about crimes happening on the streets of Europe. I think it's a bit exaggerated. Well, there are crimes everywhere in the world. You won't find a country in the world which is completely free of crimes. So so Europe is no exception to that. But to say that there are simply way too many criminal activities taking place on the streets of European cities, I would beg to differ. I would say European cities are relatively safe compared to cities in Asia or Africa, or even US, Canada, UK as well. I would say European cities or cities in European Union, most of the cities, maybe there are exceptions, are quite safe for people to live and work and to do well. So all in all, I would say Europe continues to be an attractive place to come to for education and for work. Any questions? Let me know in the comment section.